Hey everyone, we're going to continue talking about the efficiencies of markets by looking at different forms of market efficiency. Alright, so let's begin with the first objective, forms of market efficiency. Okay, so we have markets, right? And as finance people, after doing a lot of studies and whatnot, we do realize that, there are in fact inefficiencies lurking around the markets. Okay, different markets have a different degree of inefficiencies, and when this happens, we like to categorize our markets in three different forms. Okay, so there are three. When I say forms, I should say that there are three forms of market efficiencies. The first efficiency we like to talk about is what I like to call, no, not what I like to call, is what finance likes to call strong form. Okay, strong form, efficient. We'll just put this efficient here. And I'll talk about the definitions later. The next form is semi-strong. Semi or semi? Semi-strong, efficient, and the third form is weak. Okay, weak form, efficient. And efficiency decreases as we go down. As the name suggests, strong means very efficient, but I'll get into the definitions later. Semi-strong means, it is efficient, but there are some inefficiencies lurking around, and weak form means there are quite a lot of things missing. But let not that be the definition, okay? I've got a few bullet points here that are going to tell you what this this form of efficiency is all about. When I say a market is strong efficient, I'm saying that all information is reflected. Okay, all information is reflected in share prices. So just think of all your shares. These shares have been priced in such a way that they reflect all information. Okay, all information. And when I say all information, I'm talking about two different subsets: private and public. These are two subsets of information, okay? And that's what it means by all. And furthermore, we like to say that in this form there is no such thing as inside information. Now, inside information is basically information that a particular entity has that they can use at their advantage over the market in order to yield profits. Using inside information is against the law, but having it is always going to be there. There's always going to be inside information lurking around, but whether someone uses it, okay, that's a different question. That's what I mean by no such thing as inside information. Okay. Now, we then like to look at semi-strong efficient. And semi-strong efficient means that all public information is reflected in share prices. Okay, so notice that there is an inefficiency here, and that's on the fact that, hey, private information isn't being reflected in these share prices. Okay, so that's where the inefficiency arises. All right, and finally, we have weak form efficient, and weak form efficient is that current price of share reflect all historical information. Okay? And so these are the three different forms of efficient markets. Alright? And furthermore, here are some dot points which explain what it means for these efficiencies to exist. Alright? So just remember that there are three forms. Okay? And remember that one is stronger than the other. But we can further cement our understanding by maybe drawing a diagram. Okay? So I'm in the process of deciding whether to use a nice closed contour or a circle, and probably get some highlighters out to do this. Okay, so perhaps we will use something like this. Let's say this bubble right here represents strong form efficient. That is, this bubble represents the complete total efficiency that a market can have. Okay? And what we know is that in a strong, efficient market, it is absolutely efficient, and therefore all information reflects in share prices. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to just cut this up like this. Okay? And we're going to call this semi-strong efficient. So notice that we've lost some efficiency here. We've lost it, and that's what we call semi-strong efficient. What has been lost? What has been lost? Well, what has been lost is more or less private information. Because what I told you was that strong form covers everything, and that semi-strong only covers public information. And so there is some information missing, and that's the information that's not being reflected onto prices. Okay? Now we can further cut this up even more, and I'm hoping to find some other color. No, I'm going to have to use perhaps blue. No, green perhaps. The camera sees it just okay. We have this green here, okay? And this green covers this part of the bubble. Now, as you can see, the green has lost not only the private information, but also the current public information. And what's left here is simply historical information. Historical information, okay? And so we like to call this part weak efficient. Weak form efficient. Okay, so as you can see, these bubbles are getting smaller in accordance to the efficiency. We have a very strong bubble full of efficiency. All of a sudden, it becomes smaller. Why? Because we've lost the private information. And then all of a sudden, we become smaller. Why? Because we've lost all current public information. Current public info. And all we're left here is the historical information. Okay? And so that's all that has to be said about markets and their forms of efficiencies.